The American River, located in Northern California, is one of the hidden treasures of the Golden State. California has over 713 rivers, extending over 172,000 miles in length. There are three originating branches of the American River. These branches begin only a few miles west of Lake Tahoe in the El Dorado National Forest. This feature focuses on the magnificent outflow of those branching forks, known as the Lower American. This wondrous piece of nature offers recreation, hydroelectric power, economic stimulation, and abundant irrigation for Placer, El Dorado, and Sacramento counties. Prior to 1846, during the Mexican occupation of California, the American River was known as Rio de los Americanos. We begin our journey down the river by starting at the Lower American Spout, the Folsom Dam. Completed in 1955, the 340-foot tall, 1,460 feet wide dam provides protection from flood risks, as well as irrigation, electricity, and drinking water for its surrounding community. Only a few miles downstream from Folsom Dam, we find Natomas Lake. This intermediate body of water is contained by Nimbus Dam. Natomas Lake is home to Sacramento State Aquatic Center, which offers boating education, recreation, and competition. Just beneath the Nimbus Dam, we witness one of the most popular fishing locations in the greater Sacramento region. While the waters appear fairly calm for the fishers, this is not always the case.
Well, actually, I live up in Cameron Park, which is up Highway 50 in the foothills, and I've always been a little bit partial to the Lake Natoma, which is the afterbay to Folsom Lake. But right beyond that, of course, is the American River goes down past the Nimbus Hatchery. And my buddy and I fished out a number of times for the salmon. And just first thing that comes to my mind is afternoon we were there, we fished right below Lake Natoma, right there in the basin, Nimbus Basin. And we weren't catching anything, so we picked up, went down off of Watt Avenue, right underneath the overpass, and just got into the parking lot, just got our gear, started down the riverbed, probably maybe 60, 70 yards from the parking lot. All of a sudden, here comes a sheriff's car screaming up there with the lights on. Guy jumps out, says, "Hey, you know what? You get out of the riverbed. Get out of the riverbed." And he goes, "You know, come on up here to the parking lot." He said there was a potential flood that evidently upstream where we just were fishing, there right across from the Nimbus Hatchery at the Lake Natoma, they'd opened up, I guess, 4 or 5 gates, spillway gates, instead of just a couple. So there was a lot of water coming down. And he asked us, did we see anybody on the river? And we said, you know, we just got here, we don't know. So he took off down the river and told us to go ahead and, you know, exit the area. So we went back up off of Hazel to take a look at what was going on, and pulled in there by the aquatic center, and the place was just raging with water. Where we were literally within, you know, minutes before, the thing was just filling up because it's a big basin. So.
In addition to the numerous recreation available on the water, the American River also offers over 32 miles of paved bike trails that follow the river's shores, from Folsom Lake all the way to downtown Sacramento. This pathway, known as the Jedediah Smith Memorial Trail, or more commonly referred to as the American River Bike Trail, is used by over 5 million people every year. Less than a mile past the Nimbus Dam, the American River passes the Nimbus Fish Hatchery. There is some controversy over the extensive damming and diversion of rivers for hydroelectric production. Some fear ecological future of the river could be in danger. However, the Nimbus Hatchery does contribute significantly to the repopulation of fish into these waters.
Yeah, we appreciate the river, and we've been to the Nimbus Hatchery there a number of times. They have a little museum in there, and it's very informative, and it's a good thing for anybody that's interested in the river and what goes on there for the fish. They have the fish ladder there where the salmon come back up the river a certain time of the year to spawn, and they'll milk the eggs out of there. Then they have a repopulating program where they have large concrete tanks there at the hatchery. They'll grow those eggs into the little fingerlings, and then they'll plant those back in the river and in different lakes too. So it's quite popular, and it's very interesting. So if you're a Sacramentoan and you're in the area and you've never been there, go see it. You'll be impressed.
We reached the end of our journey today at the intersection of the American and Sacramento rivers. While this appears to be the end of our trip, at least for this documentary, it is only the beginning of another. Just as the three forks of the American River flow into the Lower American, the waters from the American River follow into the Sacramento River. Roughly 100 miles downstream, the Sacramento River merges with San Joaquin River. Those waters then merge with the Sacramento River Delta, which eventually spill into the San Francisco Bay before finally connecting with the Pacific Ocean. It is hard to fathom that any river could span from the peaks of the Sierra Nevada mountains all the way to a final outlet in the bay. Simply another testament to the glorious ecological wonder that is the American River.